Commissioner Vaughn, would you like to lead us in the pledge this morning? We got 9 o'clock, guys.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go when you're ready, Rick.
Craig Scott. Mark Serbrook.
Here.
Ron Vaughn.
And
Brad Newbecker.
yes.
Jenny David.
Here.
It's online.
Commissioner Scott, can you hear us?
Mute. There you go.
Yes, now I can hear.
Thank you. Item 2, any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Vaughn to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Opposed?
Yes,
Motion carries. Item 3, review of minutes. We have the November 23rd, 2021 regular meeting minutes. Everybody had an opportunity to look at those?
I have a make a motion to accept the minutes. I'll support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Newbecker to approve the November 23rd, 2021 regular meeting minutes. Is there any discussion on that? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. November 23rd, 2021 closed session meeting minutes. I have those. We all had them sitting here.
I reviewed those and I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Newbecker with support from Commissioner Vaughn to approve the closed session meeting minutes from November 23rd, 2021. All in favor, say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3C, December 2nd, 2021 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. I have,
I read those minutes. Make a motion that we accept them.
Support.
we have a motion from Commissioner Newbecker or Commissioner Vaughn with support from Commissioner Newbecker to approve the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
I think there's one correction that's needed under the public comment. Sheriff, in regards to the night shift. It's not completely up and running yet, is it? You had half and then the other half is gonna be operational here in the next 10 days or so.
Yeah, I agree with that. It does say night shift is up and running.
So you want it?
Partial. Half the night.
Night shift has
Should be fully staffed by,
been initiated and should be
fully staffed and operational by December 23rd.
yeah, he'd give us a date. Now, are you gonna put those on our iPads?
Yeah, after I scan it and save it that way.
Okay. Any other additions or corrections? No, so we need a motion to approve those with those additions or
Motion
corrections.
to accept them as presented with changes.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Vaughn with support from Commissioner Becker to approve the December 2nd, 2021 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes with the stated corrections. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Item 4, public comment on the agenda item matters. I'm going to read this once. There's 2 areas for public comment. On December 10th, 2020, the Board of Commissioners approved Resolution 20-77 to adopt rules of procedure that include a structure for public comment. Each meeting agenda includes 2 opportunities for public comment. The first public comment period is limited to topics that appear on the meeting agenda. A second public comment period is reserved for public statements on any matter or issue that is relevant or germane to county government. Persons who wish to address the board are required to comply with the following: 1, state your name for the record; 2, speak only to the chairperson; 3, stand behind the podium when speaking; 4, limit comments to 3 minutes or fewer; and 5, follow the direction of the chairperson when speaking. Board rules do not impose restrictions on subject matter. However, failure to follow the direction of the chairperson will result in not being able to talk or being removed from the meeting. The board chairperson reserves the right to sound the gavel when the audience applauds or derides a speaker. The board thanks you in advance for your compliance with these rules. This is item 4, public comment on the agenda items only. Is there any public comment in the room on agenda items? Any public comment on the phone? Any public comment on the phone? Item 5, correspondence. We only have one correspondence, and that's from Sheboygan County. The opposition to Senate Bill 597 and Senate Bill 598. Those have been received and filed. Item 6, action on consent calendar. I think we need to take these individually. Are you guys okay with that? Item 7A, resolution to approve an agreement for child assessment services. This is item 7A. This resolution is presented following discussion at the December 2nd Committee of the Whole meeting. Each year, the board is asked to authorize an agreement for child assessment services. This agreement will allow county personnel access to Northern Michigan Children's Assessment Center professionals trained to assist and support children who are victims of sexual and/or assault or abuse. The NMCAC also facilitates the investigation of these crimes so the perpetrators can be successfully prosecuted. The NMCAC will continue to provide services in calendar year 2022 at a total cost not to exceed $3,000.
Make a motion that we accept the resolution as presented. Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Newbecker to approve an agreement of child assessment services. Is there any discussion? So this is a $3,000 that she came and asked for. And then didn't she also request to be put on for further funding for?
She did, and that will appear on any future ARPA project list that we've been maintaining.
Craig cannot vote, right?
You
Can
can.
vote today.
Yes, you can. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes,
Resolution carries. Item 7B, resolution to authorize increased work hours for the county clerk's office. This resolution is sponsored by the county clerk. Employees of the county clerk's office generally work up to 35 hours each work week and 70 hours in each pay period. Many obligations such as transition to a new health insurance carrier and implementation of new payroll system software have created unusual workload challenges for the chief deputy county clerk / human resources and financial deputy clerk and deputy county clerk office managed election coordinator. Authorization to allow additional hours will require transfer of $7,300 from the general fund, general appropriations contingency.
Make a motion that we have the resolution as presented. Support.
Now, there was no deadline.
So it's through
Did I miss it?
June
Well, I know
30th.
there is, but there's not in that resolution.
It's therefore be it resolved, would be from Monday, December 13th, which is next week.
Oh, on the,
Thursday, June
sorry.
30th.
Okay. In the resolution itself.
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Bond. Is that correct? Newbecker. I wrote that down wrong. To approve the increased work hours for the county clerk's office. Any further discussion on that? Roll call vote.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
yes,
Jenny David,
Yes. Item 7C, to approve job descriptions for sheriff's office correction officer, cook, corrections officer / secretary. This resolution is sponsored by the county sheriff and corrections lieutenant. Job descriptions can help identify particular skills or abilities that are necessary for a position or the environmental pressures that apply to the position. A well-written job description establishes a solid set of expectations for employers to communicate to employees by highlighting key duties and responsibilities. New job descriptions for a corrections officer / secretary and corrections officer / cook combine the functions of a corrections officer with the job duties of a secretary and cook respectively. Persons cross-trained as corrections officers, cooks and/or secretaries could fill multiple positions within the corrections facility and would be compensated at the corrections officer rate as determined in the Teamsters Local 214 collective bargaining agreement. Can I get a,
I'll make the motion that we accept the resolution as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Vaughn? Is there any discussion on this? I think we talked about this in detail on 2 separate occasions now, and I think all of our questions were answered. Nothing? Roll call vote.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
yes,
Jenny David,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker.
Yes.
Item 7D, resolution to authorize an agreement for attorney services. This resolution is presented following discussion at the December 2nd Committee of the Whole meeting. On July 23rd, 2020, the Board of Commissioners approved Resolution 20-14 to authorize an agreement with the law firm of Foley and Mansfield to provide attorney services for Ogemaw County government. After a reasonable amount of time, the board desired to consider proposals submitted by other qualified firms supplemented by interviews with key personnel from those firms. The proposed resolution would formally accept the proposal submitted by Cole, Stroker, and Toskey PC for attorney services as detailed in attached option 3. For retainer with certain service billed hourly with a retainer/fixed fee of $48,000 per year and $185 per hour for services not included in the list under the retainer. The Board of Commissioners express its gratitude and appreciation to Foley and Mansfield for services provided to Ogemaw County.
Motion to accept the resolution as presented.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Vaughn with support from Commissioner Serbrook. Is there a discussion? I did receive, I'll let you guys know, after last week, I did receive an email and there was also a card in my box from Foster and Swift. Those were the ones that presented last week. An email same day, just thanking us for allowing them to come to present and if there was any further questions to respond back to them, I guess I should say. I did ask Tim to reach out to Cole, Stroker, and Toskey to verify that there is an individual that specializes in drains. To make sure with that hot topic, as we all know, is in our near future. So they do have a individual, you said?
They do, yes. Attorney Tim Perone would be the primary contact on drain matters.
The other, my vote for this also is because that retainer fee makes me a little bit nervous, but any other discussion? Commissioner Serbrook or Commissioner Scott, did you have any questions on this? Any comments?
I've thought about this for the past week, and I do like the retainer for sure. As much as we'd like to have the attorney firm retained for a long period of time, we can go a reasonable amount of time and reconsider if we have to. But I still hold to go with Cole Toskey.
Nothing else? Roll call vote.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes,
Jenny David,
No.
Brad Newbecker,
No.
Ron Vaughn.
Yes.
Item 70, resolution to accept revenue replacement calculations for American Rescue Plan Act grant allocation. This is going to be a wordful. This resolution is sponsored by the county administrator. On May 13th, 2021, the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners adopted resolution 20-58 to accept an American Rescue Plan Act, the ARPA grant award from the U.S. Department of Treasury in the amount of $4,078,421. ARPA rules allow for replacement of lost revenues to provide for services that were affected by revenue reductions, including restoration of fiscal stability and government operations and ensuring economic recovery to those in the community. Ogemaw County commissioned the Manor Costerson certified public accounting firm to perform a revenue replacement calculation through the use of the Government Finance Officers Association template to determine the amount of eligible for classification of lost revenues as defined by ARPA. A subsequent review was conducted by Stevenson and Company. The firm engaged to conduct the county audit. Based on these results, revenue replacement will fall between $2,477,119 and $4,217,054 pending final rules to adopt by the U.S. Department of Treasury. The proposed resolution recognizes, formally accepts the results of the revenue replacement calculation and determines that $2,477,119 of the ARPA grant award shall be classified as lost revenue as defined by ARPA. A subsequent revenue replacement calculation will be performed after the U.S. Department of Treasury releases its final rules to determine if additional funds are eligible for lost revenue classifications. Can we get a motion?
I would make the motion, we accept the resolutions presented.
We get a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Vaughn to accept revenue replacement calculations for American Rescue Plan Act grant allocations. Discussion, I did talk to Tim this morning and ask him, this is a pretty substantial difference between these two calculations. And he's going to explain.
You're rightfully wondering what in the world's going on here. We've got two numbers, one just over 2 million, the other one over 4 million. We've got a situation where the federal government is attempting to define what is a county, a single definition that would apply to all 50 states and all 3,143 counties, 14 boroughs, 64 parishes, and 41 independent cities across the country. The Federal Government Census Bureau has actually put together a pretty lengthy document defining what constitutes a county. But as you might imagine, most states, they're structured just a little bit differently. In Michigan, we have the county that we know from this building. So the oversight that you have, we have the courts that are included in our structure, and we budget annually for those. Federal government, though, does also recognize that other entities would be under the so-called county umbrella, including organizations like our road commission that's elected independently. And the only tie to this body is the ability of the County Board of Commissioners to set benefits rates for the elected road commissioners. And that's it. There's no other tie whatsoever. They're funded independently through Act 51. They administer their own funds. They're audited separately. They are a component unit of the county. They are reported in our audit, but that's the extent of it. Under the current definition with the federal government, though, it is all considered counties. So when they talk about the calculation for the lost revenue, anything going on at the road commission would be included in that calculation, as would any other authority or entity that has any sort of county tie into it, such as the health department, all included in that analysis, which in the case of the Maynard-Custerson evaluation, that comes to the $4 million number, which actually is higher than the amount of the grant award, which would then let us conclude that the entire grant award would be eligible for that lost revenue category. Our auditing firm, Stevenson and Company, Michigan-based, solely focused on Michigan, said, well, this just doesn't quite seem right. Let us contact the Department of Treasury in Lansing to have that conversation and find out what they tell us. As I told Cindy, the first thing they're going to tell you is that this is not a pass-through grant like most grants are. It does not go through the state. It comes from Washington, D.C., the West Branch. There's no stopping in between. And so their first response to you or first reply probably will be, we have no legal authority to offer any kind of interpretation. And sure enough, that's exactly the response that you received. But they said, however, if we were to apply the Michigan rules, then these other entities wouldn't be allowed to be included in the calculation. Therefore, we get the 2 million number using all the same formula. Otherwise, get that $2 million number. So we know for sure we're going to be at least eligible to classify $2.4 million as lost revenue, which is absolutely fine. It doesn't thwart any plans that we've discussed, but it just means from an accounting perspective, we've got to separate the other funds into other silos that are eligible for funding under ARPA and make sure that we document it accordingly. It's just some additional accounting work, nothing else. Every project that's been discussed at work sessions and at board meetings would still be eligible. We just simply have to document it and file it a different way with Washington, and that's it. Truly the only difference. We expect the Department of Treasury at the federal level to come up with their final rules for administering the ARPA grants probably in January. Right now, all indications are they're going to reference that document from the Census Bureau in terms of defining what is a county. And that would mean that $4 million number would be the one that we apply. If and when that occurs, I'll bring a resolution back to the board. We'll supplement it. We'll have the total be the 4,078,000 figure and move forward. If they by chance just do something different and allow some other finer tuning, so be it. We'll just move forward with the rules as they apply and just categorize things a little bit differently as we move forward. But what this does is allows us now to get the board's intentions on the record prior to completion of the fiscal year 21 audit, because some monies are eligible to be put into that budget. And of course, in fiscal year 22, it's already budgeted in anticipation of the lost revenue calculation. So that's the longer version of this. It truly comes down to accounting. As far as eligibility for projects, it would be pretty difficult for us to come up with a project that would not be eligible. We know we can't do anything with unfunded liability for pensions. Okay, so that's off the table. We can't pay any bond payments, so that's off the table. Virtually everything else is eligible. Just we have to categorize it besides lost revenue moving forward.
This doesn't mean that we're going to set aside the $2,477,119 to cover lost revenues. It's just saying that we can.
Just saying you can, and of course, the subsequent resolution that we have following this will nail down a little bit more of that, but it says that we can. And should we come back to claim the balance of the grant, again, it just says we can. We don't have to. From a reporting perspective, if this all can be classified as lost revenue, it makes our reporting to Washington, D.C. way easier because it's one category. We show the calculation once. That's the end of our reporting requirement to Washington. Now, any dollars that we allocate to any specific projects, we'll have our own reporting requirements. We'll want to make sure that whatever it is that was funded actually occurred and have some documentation to show that. But that'll be rules that we set up here. We will have already made our commitment, though, to federal government, making sure that we're in compliance with the ARPA.
Any further questions? Thank you for that clarification. Roll call vote.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes,
Jenny David.
Yes. Item 7F, this resolution to authorize revenue replacement for fiscal year 2021 and fiscal year 2022. This resolution is sponsored by the county administrator. ARPA rules allow for replacement of lost revenues to provide for services that were affected by revenue reductions, including restoration of fiscal stability and government operations and ensuring economic recovery to those in the community. Following determination that the ARPA grant award will be classified as lost revenue, the proposed resolution formally assigns $500,000 as revenue replacements to fiscal year 2021 and fiscal year 2022.
Make a motion, we accept the resolution as presented. Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Vaughn to approve the resolution to authorize revenue replacement for fiscal year 2021 and fiscal year 2022. Is there any discussion on that? I think we covered that pretty good in committee of the whole as well. Any discussion, guys? So as of right now, this is what we're utilizing $500,000 for the upcoming budget, the 2022.
To make sure this resolution also includes 2021.
Yep.
2022, we'd already budgeted, so there's no need for any kind of a budget amendment there. 21, we'll actually recognize through the audit that we've done this.
Okay. Roll call vote.
Craig Scott,
yes, I had to unmute.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes. Item 7G, resolution to authorize an adjustment of the fiscal year 2021 Ogemaw County budget. This resolution is sponsored by the Ogemaw County Administrator. Prior to completion of the fiscal year 2021 audit, it is necessary to adjust the general fund budget to accurately account for certain personnel expenditures properly attributed to the road patrol millage fund. The proposed resolution would properly attribute $339,392.44 in personnel-related expenses to the road patrol millage fund. A budget transfer is necessary because these expenses were previously assigned to the general fund.
Make the motion that adopt the resolution as presented.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Newbecker. Discussion. I talked to Tim about it this morning. He explained it. Do you want to give any brief explanation?
It's just personnel expenses that were related specifically to the road patrol fund that were incurred prior to the adoption of that budget that we took care of at the end of April. So we were obviously paying our deputies, and all along the way, we'd originally had that budgeted in the general fund, but when the millage was passed, we were able to move that to the millage fund. This just cleans it up.
Any further discussion?
What does this do to the line items that exist?
Well, you've already, when we passed the millage fund budget, we already made the changes to the, and this is fiscal year 21, made the changes to the sheriff department budget as well. So that's literally the vehicles, the lieutenants, the sheriff is in there, and the undersheriff are part of that. We adopted the budget, so to speak, to make sure that those monies were transferred over to the millage fund. We just didn't transfer the dollars that have been incurred prior to that action that we took in April. So it should not, to answer Commissioner Scott's question, should not actually impact the line items as you've already adopted them. But again, we just had incurred these expenses before that final budget was approved. So we actually have to move the money now.
This is for last year's budget, and this is just for the audit purposes.
It cleans it up. Just make sure that these expenses are expensed to the proper fund. And make sure that we've done it all, or done all of our accounting correctly.
Commissioner Scott, anything else?
It does nothing to affect the 21-22 budget?
No, does not.
Okay.
Any further questions? Roll call vote.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Item 7H, claims. So the claims of $125,271.53. Who reviewed claims?
I had the opportunity to review claims. I'd make the motion to pay the claims in the amount of $125,271.53.
I also reviewed claims and I concur. Question.
Any questions?
Courthouse and grounds.
The carpeting, all the carpeting and stuff in the offices. The other one that's kind of stood out there was Indigent Council was almost $37,000.
That's normal.
We made a quarterly payment for the medical examiner's office. Building and zoning, they had to get new tires put on a vehicle, so that was like $595. $5,000 appropriation to DHHS. Jumped out at me. I don't know. Anything jump out at you, Brad, at all?
Not really. I discussed everything with Tim yesterday. And the medical examiners in there for $17,000. That's pretty much it.
I had a couple questions. I seen Skidway Pharmacy on there.
That's the jail uses them to supply meds to the inmates.
It was quite a bit of money and there was two separate bills. It was like $3,000. I mean, it was nice to see that they were using them. They're very, very good, but I didn't know. I thought it was odd, I guess. And it was two separate charges.
You get into diabetic medicine.
You're telling the wrong person. I know. I just wanted a little further clarification on that. So you're using the Skidway Pharmacy over there for all medications? And then my question was, is it, because there was something, let me find it, hang on, because then it said something about Medicare. Like, I'm wondering if you're billing, how it was listed was very odd. We're getting reimbursement for that, was my question. Let me find it, I'm sorry. I should have printed it and I didn't. My other thing was, I see a McLaren urine drug screen. I thought we had a contract with, I mean, not that that's a bad thing, but there was a employee physical in Michigan, and then there was a urine drug screen under McLaren. Oh,
What was this for the jail though?
I didn't specify. It didn't
That
say.
wasn't the jail.
$3,134, Skidway Pharmacy,
Yeah, do you see that? What page is that on?
inmate prescriptions.
At what page?
It'll be page 7.
Yeah. So then it says, medical, oh, it does say medical prescription. It was 2 separate. For $1,192 and then $1,941. One says out of county, so I'm assuming we're going to charge that.
What it is, Jenny, is they broke it down by the Oscoda County inmates and the Ogemaw County, so we're gonna charge Oscoda County.
Page on this invoice.
I was just like,
No,
I was shocked to see that.
What it says is, part of it's Oscoda counties. So I believe that's gonna get charged back to Oscoda
It
County,
is.
the 1190,
Okay,
and then the other one is our county. So there's a total bill, but it's broke down between the inmates that goes to Oscoda County, they must bill us.
Mhm.
so is this for, and I'm just asking because I don't know. So are these inmates that don't have, say health insurance? Or if they do have health insurance, then are we billing them to get reimbursed? Or is this is our cost? This
Yeah.
$1,941? Wow. Okay. I'm glad you're using Skidway Pharmacy. And then I seen the McLaren urine drug screens. So we're utilizing them too?
Friends that uses the other one, they use somebody different.
Okay,
They have to, because of
Because of the
the DOT requirements.
What's
that's not true.
question?
Yes.
Well, since we have numerous drugstore outlets in our county, are we shopping? Or is this the only price that you can get? Or is there a substantial savings through a wholesaler? I don't know.
It's questions we're gonna have to definitely ask. I know pharmacy is definitely an issue right now with wait times and prescriptions, and things are definitely difficult right now. So that's the first time I had seen that, I guess.
That's the first time I think I've seen one. from Skidway Pharmacy as well.
They're doing very well over there. I'm gonna advocate for them. But we'll have to ask those questions, Commissioner Scott. But as
Okay.
I thought that there were specific requirements for
No, I know
CDLs and
well, there is, that is true, but you have to be, because I'm DOT certified, you have to
Okay.
be DOT certified, but I just know because we had extensive conversation between McLaren and in Michigan as far as who we were gonna go with for this contract. So I was just surprised seeing that it is a transit urine drug screen, so. Not that I was just questioning if we're utilizing both. It was just
There will be follow-up.
my other question was, there was like a $825 bill on the uniforms. And then that's my last question. Let me find it. NYE uniforms.
Yep, not uniform. Yep, it's holsters.
Oh, okay.
cases.
So that's equipment, not just uniforms.
Right.
It says uniforms and accessories. Okay. Thank
I
you.
got a question.
Commissioner Scott.
Like we're buying these tires for the building and zoning. Do we not get the same kind of deal through the state pricing that we do for the sheriff's department for tires for other things? Can we buy through the same place with the same order, just apply it to a different line item? This seems like we're paying $150 a tire. And I know we're not doing that for the police cars.
I know there was a bill on there and it was quite a bit for tires. Where,
$595 from Timmy Tire.
Pretty sure the
Four tires for.
tires were a lot more than that.
No, for 4 tires?
I think they were 125 a piece, and then you had the disposal fee, and
Right.
if I remember right,
But
looking at the bill was 125 a tire.
But if we're bulk buying at Michigan state pricing for, say, the sheriff's office cars, then why don't we piggyback on it for everything else that we're getting?
The short answer is yes, they are eligible to get them through My Deal. I don't know if this is specifically a My Deal account or not, but I'll follow up and we'll find out. And definitely we want the best pricing, and it should be as easy as what the sheriff's office has experienced. Just simply take it to that dealer, show them that we are the county and that we want the My Deal pricing, they should get it. Now, they are different cars, so you might have a different type of a tire, I don't know. But short answer is yes, so they are eligible to be under My Deal.
yeah, it doesn't say what the tires were for. It doesn't say,
It says truck, it was a truck.
where's it say?
It says Brian's truck. When I reviewed,
Oh.
it was on the billing. It said Brian's truck.
Oh, okay, that's how you know.
So
I've questioned the tire purchases because I didn't want to take purchases away from a local vendor, but the thing was, is the My Deal pricing is so much better. And I just think we have so many mobile vehicles, Transit's buying their tires at a reduced rate also. We should be looking across the board like this.
Tim's gonna follow up on that.
We'll confirm it.
Okay, so any further discussion on claims? Roll call vote.
Ron Vaughn,
yes.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes,
Jenny David,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Disappeared.
Done.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Item 8, unfinished business. I think there was any. Item 9, administrators report.
A few things to update you on. Next week at the committee of the whole meeting, there will be an agenda item to discuss issues with the medical examiner. The firm that we've contracted with has, as you know, has some change in personnel. We all probably, well, I know you all received a meeting or two ago, a letter from the Institute explaining how 2 of their top officials left the organization. It sounded like it was voluntary in the letter we received, and come to find out through public media reports, it probably was not a voluntary separation. Since then, a neighboring really, but a county south of here, Saginaw County, has found some fault with the personnel that are actually in the Institute right now performing autopsies. There's some question whether or not the personnel are properly certified to do some of the autopsies that are done. So we'll have an opportunity to talk about that, what that means for the contract we have if we decide to discontinue, what that process would look like. So we'll have more detail at that point. I have spoken with our own county prosecutor. He actually has done some follow-up as well, and is somewhat alarmed at what she's learned. So definitely timely to discuss this and bring that whole thing to fruition. You may have received an email from Michigan Association of Counties late yesterday. The bill for 4-year terms for county commissioners is out of the legislature now and on its way to the governor. All indications are the governor will sign that. If that occurs, then beginning with the 2024 election, county commissioners will be on 4-year terms rather than 2. This has been a very long battle with Michigan Association of Counties. They're I think at least a decades-long battle with the legislature to get this passed, and so they're pretty proud to have actually made that come to fruition. Then finally, an update on the executive or the administrative secretary position. We have currently 41 applicants in the pool. Tomorrow, I will ask Tom at the close of business to take down the posting from the webpage. Early next week, we'll do evaluations to narrow the field and hopefully have that accomplished relatively quickly so that we can potentially get into interviews the week of the 22nd, I think it is, 21st to 22nd, whatever that Monday is. And then hopefully have somebody selected and in the seat by mid-January. So that's our schedule right now. Some of the applicants, as I've said in the past, don't have the minimum qualifications, and so they'll be eliminated from consideration right away. But I can say there are some very good ones in the pool, so I'm pretty confident we'll have a good candidate to select from, and this should move right along. That's my report.
Questions for Tim? Elected official and department head reports. Clerk?
I don't have anything to report.
Karen Pawlowski, your Ogemaw County Treasurer, and I have a few things to report, like what's happening in the Treasurer's office. I attended
Can I'm sorry, can you come up here?
Yeah.
Tom did ask that.
Absolutely.
Sure, everybody can hear you.
Karen Pawlowski, your Ogemaw County Treasurer, and I have several updates for the Treasurer's office. One is I attended a new county treasurer training in person on Tuesday in Midland. It was very informative. It was the first time I was able to meet in person. Everything this year has been by Zoom. I've been working with Baker Tilly on information gathering for the jail rebonding. Winter tax bills are now out. You probably received them at home. And I did a email blast out to our local units treasurers with tips of collection, reminders and tips for them for the collection season. The hallway decoration you see is beautiful, and it's much appreciated by the public. For the treasurer's office, we did an interactive mitten tree to collect mittens for underprivileged children in the community. Employees have been donating, and we've actually been able to hand out off of the tree already to customers of the county building already. So it's been great. We've been taking mittens in and handing them out. To launch something new and positive for the treasurer's office for the first time. People aren't aware that licensing your dog is a Michigan state law. So to encourage people to license their pet this year, we put together a gift basket full of toys, snacks, treats, and blankets, different things for a dog. And it was not paid with taxpayer dollars. I paid for it myself, and a couple of employees volunteered and donated items for the basket. So during the dog sales from, we started in November and we go through February 28th. If you license your pet, your name goes in the drawing for the gift basket. So that's fun and exciting. I was surprised how many people thought in talking with people in the community, they didn't realize that the dog licensing is a state law. They thought you only had to have a license if your dog is in the city. So helping to get the public awareness out there. I put an ad in the Herald so that people were more aware of it. And then the Voice did an article in the paper this week. So if you haven't seen the Voice, turkeys from the Sheriff's Department is on the top of the page. And then right below is the County Treasurer's Office attention to dog licensing. I've also collaborated with the Humane Society Claws and Paws. So when the pet is adopted in our community now, the dog license application is given out with their packages of paperwork for their new pets. I've collaborated with the local vet offices, West Branch Vet, Ogemaw Vet, Compassionate Care, and then Farm and Pet out in Whittemore. So they will give out the dog license applications with new puppy packets, and West Branch Vet is actually putting it on their invoicing now to remind customers to license the pet.
Thank you.
And that's my report.
Undersheriff?
Nothing significant. I'll come up just real quick.
Can you please, can you kind of give, because a lot of individuals complained that they didn't hear Sheriff give his update at the committee of the whole. Can you kind of paraphrase that again? Do you mind?
If I can remember most of it. The night patrol is up and running. It's been up for a couple of weeks now. We anticipate to be fully staffed by the weekend of the 24th. So that's good news. Shop with a Hero is on full force. That is the 15th coming up. Donations have been outstanding. A lot of people have stepped up and donated. We anticipate there will be anywhere from 80 to 100 families, children that are going to benefit from the Shop with a Hero. So Sheriff's been working hard with the police chiefs in Rose City and West Branch, and we expect a good turnout. Sheriff has been working with the school district. I believe just a quick update. I know it was brought up before, the The funding for the school resource officer is not grant related. It does come from a fund from the school district itself. Per the contract, when they renewed the contract, there was a review of the position and what they were doing. They renewed the contract, and currently they're going through a quarterly review. So they developed a review process, complete with forms and that type of stuff to document that review. So that is being looked at and talked about between the school district and the sheriff. I think that's pretty much it. We're excited. The new deputies are going to be graduating on the 17th. So we're down there for graduation. They'll be starting on the 20th. Our current trainees will be moving to midnights to facilitate that full staffing. They're doing really well. Other than that, I think that pretty much sums it up. Did I miss anything? I can't remember what the sheriff addressed last time.
We talked about the turkeys briefly as well. I think we've all heard about that.
The turkeys was well received. We had a lot of fun with that. They spread it out throughout the county. It's well received. Many donations. Look forward to doing it again next year.
So is there currently any opening positions? Are you guys fully?
We currently have one.
Okay.
We'd like to see two. We do have one applicant right now that's kind of promising. We're going to set up a interview and see where that goes. So there's still one opening for sure. I'd like to see two just for the staffing reasons, but that'll be addressed after we fill this first. So one opening still.
We did have a medical emergency at my office on Tuesday, and you guys did have a car respond, and they were very much appreciated.
It's good to hear.
So it was very much needed and very appreciated. So thank you for that.
You may want to inform the entire board if they haven't already been involved. Did you call everybody?
I did not.
Okay, you might want to just.
Yeah, I notified Brad and Commissioner Serbrook, but there was a patrol car vehicle accident yesterday. There was an emergency response to a situation at the hospital. Fortunately, with that emergency response, there was a crash, no injuries, thankfully. We'll follow up with the other driver today. The other driver is an employee with the county building, so it's unfortunate circumstances happen. MSP conducted the investigation of the documentation, contact people. There is some significant damage to each vehicle.
But everybody's okay.
Everybody's okay first and foremost, and that's obviously the most important part. We'll continue to work through the process with MSP, look at the circumstances, and make sure that everything's taken care of appropriately. The vehicle currently is at West Branch Collision for an estimate. We're working with Depot for insurance coverage. We'll go from there.
They're not going to be happy.
We did send the certificates for the driver's refresher training to them, so they were happy at that point.
Briefly. Thank you, Undersheriff. On the phone, I think I see MSU. Do you have an update?
Good morning. I don't have an update this morning. We're continuing to, I went to the Fair Board last night. I can give that update. They're just, continuing to concentrate on some fundraising activities, but I won't give a report for them. We're having our all district meeting. So staff from around our 7-county area will be meeting tomorrow, reviewing some professional development and compliance issues. And then we're in the process of planning for 2022, getting our programs together. But other than that, I don't have any report, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Jeff from Veterans, do you have an update?
Nothing from the veterans. We had Pearl Harbor Day ceremony on the 7th, small turnout, veterans only, but other than that, nah, nothing else.
Thank you. Is there any other elected officials or department heads on the phone? Matters from the floor? Motions for adoption. I don't think we have any there neither, correct?
Right.
Committee reports. Commissioner Vaughn.
Met with 911. That was basically business as usual. Nothing really there. Met with Parks and Rec yesterday. We're putting back out for rebids for a different strategy for the sewers at the campground. We're looking at it, trying to do it a different way so that we can utilize the grant that's out there without losing it. Cummings Township, met with them. The big thing there was their clerk resigned. From my area, that's the second clerk that's resigned. Rose Township clerk resigned a while back. They're having some issues, so they were gonna, Mr. Quackenbush was gonna reach out to the previous clerk and because it's a elected placement, they were just gonna ask her if they could come back and pay her like an hourly wage. Can't think of the word I want to use, but have her come back and try and help. There's a lot of things that are that slow down and not getting done the way they should get done and try to play catch up. So that's all I have.
Was there a date on that resignation?
They're shooting for, because I guess you can ask them to hold off, so they're the end of the month, 31st.
The new one.
That's Bob Barber. I don't know the circumstances, didn't ask.
Anything else? Commissioner Newbecker?
Northern Michigan Counties Association meeting. They discussed the apportionment map. I guess Midland had some problems with theirs, with a lot of districts getting split up. House seats that are sharing districts now. So there's more communication to come with that. And then they also discussed the mental health bills. There was some discussion on more pressure coming in the future with those, with the privatization or private, I can't say it.
Welcome to my world.
But they're obviously still concerned about that. That was about it for that. And then tonight is the drain commission meeting out at the fairgrounds, 7 p.m. I believe. 6.
I plan on attending that. I got the resolution that I plan on reading on behalf of us, so we'll see how that, you're gonna be there. Good. I think the more the better. I don't have anything to report. It's kind of an odd how this week fell, or how the first of the month fell, so I don't have a lot. I missed Logan Township and I missed Richland. Richland was Monday. The roads were pretty bad out my way, and I knew they didn't have a lot to talk about, so I did touch base with Mr. Bronson. They were talking about the hall, possibly the ARPA funding being utilized for some updates on the hall windows, he said, and also was talking about some dumpster issues, I guess. So Logan, I also missed that one. And they were talking about the ARPA funding, finishing the trash pickup. And then everything else is upcoming this next upcoming week, and I plan on attending that tonight as well. So I don't have much. Commissioner Serbrook.
Commission on Aging, we appointed 2 new board members, Amy Beach and April Schills from Mills Township. I attended West Branch Township last night. They're gonna license 2 marijuana facilities in the township. So far, they've got 3 applicants. They haven't closed the application process yet, so moving forward with their marijuana dispensary facilities. That's it. I missed West Branch City Council meeting Monday night, unfortunately, so that's all I have.
That's it. General public, I'm sorry.
That's all.
And I don't think Commissioner Scott, I don't think he joined us again.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. Do you have
I
any
have
report?
to
Just one
turn-
sec, sir. Go
I have
ahead.
to turn my phone over so I can hear it. Anyway, thank you for the undersheriff for that report. You start out with almost nothing, but we appreciate all the information that we hear. I want to let you know that I was selling our county in a sheriff's position to a TSA officer at the Flint Airport. They were very interested in coming up to Ogemaw County, so I'm hoping they're going to apply. I attended a NEMSCA meeting via Zoom last week, and my township meetings all start next week. So, thank you.
Next we have general public comment. Come on up, sir, state your name. I'm not going to read the rules again. You got 3 minutes. Any subject matter?
My name is Walter Edward Harper, and I'm responding to the irresponsible slanderous comments made by my estranged daughter Emily Beth Lebeau on October 14, 2021, and by Commissioner David. The history between my family and my estranged daughter is complicated, as we have tried to help her through professional intervention that included medical and psychological services. Over the years, we've proactively tried to help our daughter and our grandchildren, only to be thwarted by her irrational behavior that led to this unfortunate situation. Commissioner David, by giving our daughter any credibility, by publicly questioning my integrity as a private citizen, makes me question your suitability as a commissioner. Your neglect of my right to privacy to boost whatever angst you have with the sheriff is unconscionable. We were cleared of any wrongdoing by an investigation conducted by Deputy Lee David, which concluded a forensic interview. I was cleared of any wrongdoing by an investigation conducted by Trooper Fink of the West Branch Post that included a forensic interview. PPO has never been granted against myself or my wife. Letter from attorney Catherine Denholm, 10/27/21. I reviewed the court file Schoolcraft County for cases filed by Emily Lebeau against you and Beth Harper. Ms. Lebeau's attempt to obtain ex parte protection orders against you failed, and all cases were eventually dismissed by agreement of all parties. In short, no protection orders against you are in effect in Schoolcraft County. I worked a security event at the Quality Inn in West Branch, Michigan. I received a check written on 9/20/21 for $150 from HH Security LLC for services rendered a couple of weeks earlier, signed by former Sheriff Hand. Residents of Ogemaw County for 16 years were retired teachers. I worked for 2.5 years as a parapro at Ogemaw Heights High School. An honorably discharged veteran, served as an EMT for Mayville Area Ambulance Service, wrote with and completed community service projects for the Lapeer County Sheriff Department, former CPR instructor, Genesee Lapeer Chapter of the American Red Cross. I serve on the Rose Township Board of Review, completed MSP training security issues for places of worship. Security coordinator for Trinity United Methodist Church, Rose City, and MSP Angel Program Transporter. I resigned my position from the Sheriff Department so that Sheriff Gilbert would not be subjected to chaos generated by my estranged daughter. Commissioner David, your comments regarding allegations about my suitability to serve in any capacity in Ogemaw County were inappropriate and should have not been made in an open meeting. Therefore, I am writing to the Attorney General to investigate your conduct, your gross neglect of protecting my rights as a private citizen, and your demonstrated disregard of professionalism makes me question your suitability to serve. I serve on a state board, and if you are this sloppy with your understanding of basic rules of conduct in a commissioner's meeting, I truly wonder about your competence to serve in any elected office.
Thank you for your comments. Any other public comment? Any public comment on the phone? Any public comment? Next, we have a closed session. Item 15, a closed session is scheduled to consult with the county attorney about the Kirtland Community College millage and to discuss a case regarding employment status of several former contract employees. Closed session for this purpose is permitted under Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.268. No other business will be considered after the closed session. We have a motion to go into closed session. We have a-
Brad?
Yes, we have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook, support to go with Commissioner Newbecker to go into closed session. Roll call vote.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes,
Is Tom communicated? Does he communicate with you at all?
Oh,
Tom? No?
Give me just a second here and I'll put people in the waiting room.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Need a motion to go back into,
Make a motion to go back into open session at 10:25. Or
we have a motion with support to go back into open session. Can I get a roll call vote on that?
you may. Craig Scott,
I'm sorry. I was trying to call Tom there. Are we voting on getting out of session or in session?
In session.
coming back into open session.
I'll vote yes.
Thank you. Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker, Jenny David.
Yes. We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll support. We have a motion with support to adjourn at 10:25. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thanks, Craig.
I did. 733.
What?